All right, it's me, Nick, and Jacob is up there with Outdoor Adventure Club. We are officially starting our journey in the Great Smoky Mountain National Parks, our national park systems. As far as that's concerned, that's probably America's, probably one of their greatest ideas that they've ever had, is creating the national park system. And we're gonna take full advantage of it this weekend. And we're going to do our 4.8-mile hike into campsite number 59. And we're gonna set up shop, and then we're going to get our gear all set up, and we're gonna hopefully get the fly rods out and get some dry fly fishing in. Trail's real nice and wide right now, then it will narrow up. Jacob, anything you want to add?
Nope.
This is Jacob's first major hiking trip that he's gone on. We've done some mini hiking trips to prepare for this, but this is his first major expedition. All right, we have made it to campsite 59 on Deep Creek Trail. Pretty good hike going in. Starts out wide, then narrows up. At about mile 2.5, you have like a big climb that you have to do. But after about from 2.5 to 3.25, the trail gets a lot easier. It narrows. I mean, it flattens out. A lot of cool campsites down this whole entire lane of 59. There's already some people that are camping here. The first site's really good. It's just that I have a hammock, so I have to have some trees to be able to tie into. But this is our site. And we will be here the next 2 days, today and tomorrow. And then we're going to move to 46. On the Indian Creek Trail. So stay tuned. We'll be back when we get our camp set up and things all situated.
Nick, is that a deer?
Yeah. All right, so we finally got our camp set up. Looks pretty good. This is our Katadyn water system. It's just a gravity system. I've showed you guys this before, but this is how we're getting water, how we're purifying our water. Jacob has the high-low tent, is what he's using. It is a Mountain Hardwear tent. I don't think they make it anymore, but it's a good tent. You like your tent, Jacob?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. And then I'm just doing a basic hammock system that we have right here. I got the rain fly on, the under quilt, all that stuff, that standard stuff that people use. But pretty cool. You got deer that kind of wander through your camp from time to time. They do have a bear hang. I'll show you the bear hang a little bit later that you hang your food from when you're not in camp.
This is a bear hang. it's for food. It's for when either you're out of your campsite fishing, or if it's nighttime and you're sleeping, and it's for your food. And you hang it up to keep it safe from bears. So first, you hang the string up on the hooks, like so. Then, you pull the other side of the rope to make the food go up. Then, you hook up the carabiner to this little hook right here.
All right, just taking a break. Jacob is also taking a break before we start fly fishing. But right behind our campsite's kind of a cool view. This is Deep Creek that's here. And you can see you got an amazing waterfall. Hey guys, welcome to the Nick and Jacob cooking show. Today we are going to be cooking teriyaki noodles. This is an Asian side that we're going to be having. The reason that we're going to be having this particular meal today is because today I could not catch a fish for the life of me. Did some dry fly fishing, a lot of high pocket water, fast water, and for whatever reason I did not move any fish. Went at it for about 2 hours. Tomorrow we'll give it a little bit better effort, and that will go a little bit higher up the creek and figure out what's going on. I know we're gonna get into fish. I got a good feeling about this trip. This isn't gonna be that trip where all it becomes is Nick and Jacob eating Asian sides teriyaki noodles, but that's what we're gonna have for dinner tonight. Got my water boiling. I put my oil in a tiny little it's an old water bottle. That's how I carry my oil around because I don't use that much of it. And then Katadyn supplied us with the water that we're currently using today. So yeah, stay tuned for the Nick and Jacob cooking show. You're probably wondering, Nick, how did these Asian teriyaki noodles come out that you made? Because I mean, they looked amazing when you had them in the package, but look at that. That is pure amazingness. As far as teriyaki noodles are concerned, this was an 88-cent investment for me. I purchased these at Mark's, which is a grocery store that sells things very discounted, and I thought 80-some cents. Was an amazing price for this. Our big plans for tonight are we're going to make some s'mores. That's one of the things that we have. We're going to make s'mores, and we're also going to be reading Kindle books that we have down by the creek. So pretty exciting night. Maybe the deer will stop by again. They just kind of roam through the camp, eat random leaves. Jacob has got 4 bees in his tent that we have killed and we have removed. Jacob is terrified of bees. He knows everything about bees, how many times they can sting you, depending upon what species that it is. So Jacob is afraid of bees even though we're like a quarter of a mile away. He is terrified of them. So my big fear is snakes. So I am afraid of snakes. Smoky Mountains has 2 poisonous snakes, one being the copperhead snake and the second one being a timber rattler. So those are 2 snakes I am anxiously not awaiting to see, and hopefully I do not see them during this whole entire trip. We'll keep you posted if anything amazing happens here at campsite number 59 in the Smoky Mountains. There is a little rainbow. Pretty fish. Got a brown on here, nice brown. Yeah, it's a good fish. Nice little brown. There we go. All right, so this is that brown that I got about 20 minutes ago. So we're gonna do a little catch and cook with it. I got a lot of other little rainbows today as well. That was about 3 hours of fishing. I kind of fished up from campsite number 59 all the way up to 58, and they're hitting dry flies. I got him on a, he hit the Royal Trude, and then the caddis on the back hooked him as well. But he took the Trude on the front. The other fish also took the Royal Trude. One fish took a little yellow humpy. But I'm gonna get him filleted and we'll do a little catch and cook. So here are the fillets from that brown trout. I don't think that you get any prettier of fish. I mean, the brown trout is beautiful as far as their coloring's concerned. I know brook trout are really pretty too, but a brown gives a brook trout a pretty good run for his money as far as pretty fish is concerned. We're cleaning this away from the campsite, of course, because we don't want any bears or anything to come in contact with us. So we're going to dispose of the fish on the other side of the river, and we're then going to cook them up. So see you in a little bit. So I had to chunk up the brown trout fillets a little bit. All I'm going to do is I put a little bit of oil in the pan, and I got some Tex-Mex seasoning is what I'm going to use. I'm just going to sprinkle it on, a little bit of the Tex-Mex seasoning on the fish, and then we're going to put it in that oil. I put it skin side down first, and I'm going to go for about 5 minutes, and then I'll flip it over for about 3 minutes on the other side. Is all that you're gonna do. You can see fish is done. You know it's done, it's gonna turn really white and it becomes really flaky. So this came out really nice and came out really good. You can see the skin comes out right off, so that's a good sign too. But yeah, that's really good. Catch and cook. Great Smoky Mountain National Park, wild brown trout. All right, a little tiny brown. So it's our last night here at campsite number 59. It's been a great day as far as fishing is concerned. A lot of pocket water that you're fishing, a lot of tight quarters that you're fishing, but just a good time because I was able to get them on a dry fly, which is what my main goal was. Hey, I'm gonna fish a dry fly. I've been fishing nymphs and things like that all fall and all winter with steelhead, so it was nice to be able to get out and get some dry fly fishing in. Nice to get that one really nice brown, but a lot of little fish. I'm just using two dry flies. My main dry fly I used was that yellow humpy. That's the one that worked really good. Royal Trude did good, and then I got one on the grasshopper at the end. But just amazing to get outside, amazing to be outside, amazing that the national parks finally started opening up, and Jacob and I just decided that, hey, as soon as a national park opens up, we are going to go, we are going to travel, we are going to get into the backcountry, we are going to do what we were made to do, which is to enjoy nature. But we're gonna pack up tomorrow, and we are going to head to Indian Creek. It's a little bit further than I thought. I think we're doing about a 5 or 5.5 mile hike tomorrow, so we're gonna get an early start on that. There's supposed to be some thunderstorms tomorrow. We're a little bit concerned about that, but we're gonna push out of here relatively early and hit the trail. We feel rested, we feel rejuvenated, and we kind of feel ready to go. So Jacob is reading in his Kindle in his tent. Jacob, is there anything you want to add? Jacob, why don't you talk about the setup of your tent, what you got going on inside here?
Okay. Well,
okay, like what's going on? Let's open up the door here and see what you got going on, Jacob.
Well, I have bees.
Okay, you have a bee problem. Jacob has a bee problem. We talked about that yesterday. Jacob, why don't you just talk about your place in general?
Okay, so the food obviously isn't permanently in here.
Right.
But first we have Nick's backpack because he can't fit it in his hammock because I have enough room for it. Here's my backpack. I have a sleeping bag, obviously. It's opened up. And got my Kindle, water jug. And then I'm using my clothes as a pillow. I got my socks back there and shoes. And then I got a knife and matches. And I have wipes for when we need to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, so that's Jacob's little setup inside of his tent. All right, we made it to Sunday. We have camp all packed up, and we are ready to go. Today we're just gonna hike up the Deep Creek Trail. Then we're gonna cut across Martin's Gap, and we're gonna come down Indian Creek Trail, and we're gonna stay at campsite number
46.
46 is where we're gonna stay. One thing that we got hooked up today is we got the solar panel hooked up. This is the Goal Zero solar panel, and then as I hike, it's just hooked up to my backpack. As I hike, it's going to charge the battery pack, so you can see that it's charging the battery pack there, and that's kind of how we're powering all these things. We go through a lot of GoPro batteries when you're filming and things like that. Jacob has his Kindle that he reads at night, so it just makes an easy way to charge all your gear and things like that. But beautiful day. Like I said, we're supposed to get some thunderstorms a little bit later on today, so we're going to try to push through. Got about a 5-mile hike. I think it's about 5 miles is what we're going to have to go through today, but we're going to get some good shots in of some cool things that we see as we complete this loop. So this is a historical spot that we just kind of stumbled upon. It's Horace Kephart, Dean of the American Campers, and one of the principal founders of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, pitched his last permanent camp right here. So this is one of his last permanent camps. The really amazing thing about Smoky Mountain National Park is that, I mean, just the size of the trees. It's just insane how big these trees are. Take a look at this tree here. I mean, like, that is... They're just ginormous. I mean, they go up forever. So super, super, super cool. All right, we have officially made it to Martin's Gap Trail. So we can see, here's Martin's Gap, and we are gonna go to Indian Creek. So we gotta go 3 miles to Indian Creek is where we have to go to. So we're still working this Martin's Gap Trail. I thought we were almost at the top of this, but this thing is a brutal climb, just continuous uphill, and thought that we would start going downhill, but we're not. But we're up pretty high now in elevation. You can see the tops of the mountains through there, but yeah, this has been a pretty brutal hike so far today. So once you get on that Martin's Gap Trail, it's a butt kicker, so it does a number on you. But so we are continuing our journey up Martin's Gap Trail, and it's still uphill. Jacob, is there anything you want to say about Martin's Gap Trail, as far as your pleasure with traveling it?
I'm probably never going to do it again.
Okay.
Ever.
And why would you say you're never going to do it again?
Because we haven't even gone downhill yet, even though I think we've reached the top of the mountain.
Folks, there you have it. The pain is real for a 10-year-old. Martin's Gap Trail is uphill, and Jacob is experiencing that all too familiar pain you get when you travel uphill for around 1.5 miles. His hamstrings are starting to burn. But Jacob believes in himself, and I believe in Jacob, and Jacob's going to get through the pain, and he is going to endure, and eventually we're going to make it to that amazing Indian Creek Trail, in which we'll find our campsite, and we'll have a glorious evening of fire and eat the rest of our food. All right, we have officially made it to the halfway point, in which we're going to make it to Indian Creek Trail. We're just about 1.5 miles away, and we got some good news, and that we're gonna start heading downhill. We're gonna start heading downhill. We were heading uphill, now we're heading downhill, starting to head downhill. Yeah, pretty excited. Feels good. Energy is back in the system. I got some water in me, and I'm looking forward to this descent that we have. All right, after a long day of travel, about 5 or 6 hours on the trail, we have finally arrived at campsite number 46, and we're gonna set up shop here for the evening. We got a fire pit. We got some places to sit. The only downfall is there's really not a lot of flat ground, but Jacob said he'll make it work and he'll find a place to put his tent. All right, guys, we have officially got the camp set up. It's about 4 o'clock, and feels pretty good. We're probably just gonna sit here and we're just gonna chill. Indian Creek is down that way,
but I went by it, and it's really small where we're at here. And to tell you the truth, I'm kind of tired to get the fly rod out and try to catch some little rainbows. But maybe a little bit later on tonight, but I highly doubt it. Maybe tomorrow on my way back, I'll get the fly rod out and I'll fish as I go, as we take our hike back. We got about 4.7 miles to go tomorrow. Today was a really tough hike. That gap trail that we went through was really rough. All right, so we're all packed up. It rained pretty heavily last night. A guy we talked to that just came by, he was staying up at a campsite up above, said that there's going to be some nasty thunderstorms moving in today around noon, and we should probably get out of here. So we're going to do a little bit of hiking in the rain today and try to get back to the vehicle before these nasty thunderstorms start rolling in. Jacob has just informed me about a process that he likes to use on hikes. It's called walking meditation. Jacob, why don't you explain walking meditation to us?
Okay, well, usually it only works when it's raining.
Okay.
But you just gotta tell yourself it's all gonna be okay.
All right.
The rain's gonna stop soon, and then take a couple deep breaths.
That's about it?
Yeah.
Okay, how many deep breaths do you have to take?
Three or more.
Okay. You heard it first from Jacob. He's introducing me to walking meditation. Our happy face. We have just completed the loop from Deep Creek Trail across Martin's Gap all the way down Indian Creek Trail. If you like what you saw, you like what you experienced, we ask that you please hit the subscribe button below. And remember, if it's on the trail or in the water, Outdoor Adventure Club will be there.